Hi, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Let's start rebooting our work using UiPath. So today's session we are going to discuss about data table. So what mean by data table? So data table is used to store the value in a structured way and used to capture the value which is in a structured. So those values can be written in a spreadsheet or CSV file. So we are going to discuss a couple of data table activities today in today's session. So which is build data table, filter data table, sort data table, output data table, and clear data table. So without wasting time, let's quickly jump back to the studio part. So just go to the project. So double click main XAML. So before that, I just already created a process which is named a database. Then go to the activity panel. So just drag and drop a sequence and rename it as so whatever you need. So let me name it as data table. So and then you can search for your activities which is named as data table. So you can see a couple of activities over here. So today we are going to discuss about the topics which I have mentioned here. So let's start with build data table. So build data table. So build data table. So basically is used to create a and then schema and then used to store the value as well. So we can store the schema and then value. So as I said schema, so you can keep it as name, age, and then company. So this is the schema of the table. So the schema in the sense, so header. So those are the schema of the table. So only you can keep the schema and you can enter the values in the runtime. Okay. So this will be used mainly when you are using like advanced concepts. So during the runtimes, you will be writing the data in this particular data table, and you will be creating only schema. So as of now, so let me enter some values. So here directly we can enter some values. Okay. So 23, then company ABC, and then so let's click on Ganesh and 22, then XYZ, and then just click Kumar. Okay, his name is 24, and he's also from ABC. Okay. So this is the record. So this is the things which we will be practicing as of now. But in advanced concepts, so we'll be use this build a data type only for the schema level. So not we will be not entering the values over here. So instead of this, we can use one more thing called as read data table. So you can use the read data table and you can read the values. So let me show that as well. So as of now, let me quickly check on this. Okay, so let me drag a output data table. Okay, so that is output data table. Yeah, so what actually this output data table will do, so it will take this data table as an input and return it as a string. Okay, so what we can do, one more thing, so you can drag a sequence and classify these things, so it will be helpful for us. So what it build data table, so make it as name this one and drag and drop inside this. Okay, so what is the data table input? So we have to create a variable. So we have forgot actually. So in the property panel under the output, so we have to create a variable. So control K, a DT, which indicate for the data table. Okay, DT. So maybe info or something. You can keep it as info. Okay, this is the output of this particular data table which you have created. Okay, so in output data table activity, you have to pass it as an input. Okay, so as I said before, this output data table will return the value as a string. Okay, because as you know, in right line we can print only the values which in string. Okay, so I was going to show this thing in the right line, so it will be like visible. So otherwise we have to go to Excel and we have to write those there. So it will be take some time. So that's why I was just introducing this activity which help us to write in right line and quickly help us to walk through. So let's Control K, str in the sense string. Okay, str info, hit on enter. Okay, So what you need, so instead of right line, now we can take a message box. Okay, message box. So what actually message box? It will show a pop-up message until unless you have click on OK or cross mark. So it will be shown over there. Okay, so we can pass this output of out data table as a input in the message box. Okay, so what is the input here? Str info, right? So just save this and run this. So I guess you can see a pop-up here, right? So what you have entered in this particular build data type, it is showing here. So name, age, company, and then the name of the particular person and all the data. So just click on OK. Once I click on OK, it will be done. Okay. So as of now, so we have done in this way. Okay. So as I said before, this build data type it will use basically used to write a schema, and it will be help us to write the values in the runtime. So those will be used in advanced concept. So as of now, so I have just enter the values manually. Okay. So you can do in either way. So these things can be achieved, or you can use a read activity. Okay, so it will also give in a data table only. Okay, so you can use a workbook activity, otherwise you can go with the excel scope and you can do the same things. Okay, excel scope, and then read activity, you'll be doing the same read activity, and you'll be doing the same, you'll be getting a data type. Okay, you can read the excel. In this part you have entered the value, but you are going to read from the excel, and the second and third step will be the same. Only for first step, so we can replace using the excel scope. Okay, in excel scope if you have some data using this step, you can replace it. So you can try out this step. Okay, so let me go to the next activity. What it mean? Filter data table, right? Filter data table. So let me drag a sequence. Okay, let me name it as filter. So why I was doing this, actually it will not make us things complicated. So it will make the things as so light, so you can easily understand those stuffs. That's what the thing. These are like somewhat best practice you can do in your real time projects, everything. So let me drag and drop filter data type. Okay, so let me tell it. So what actually we are going to filter? So as you see already, three datas, right? So you have three datas. So what you are going to do now? So you don't need this XYZ company. So only you need to take this ABC companies only. So this XY company is different person, so it should not be included in your output data, final data. Okay. So what you are going to do? You are going to do a filter. So you'll be typing dt, right? So you have to take that input, but you are not able to see here. Why? Because so due to the scope. Okay, so this particular variable which I created is stuck with this build data type sequence scope itself. So what you have to do, you have to click there and then see, you can see the scope, right? You can make it as data table so that you'll be access to entire flow. Okay, so what you can do here, dt info. Okay, dt info which has the entire data. Okay, and then dt filter, so which means so we have filtered something, right? Okay, sorry, my bad, I have named it as 4. Let me correct it over here. Okay, so if you are correcting here, it will be automatically corrected over there, dt4. Okay, so what you can do, so we can take some data and you can filter, start filtering. Okay, so we can go to up here. Okay, so what we have to filter? Company name, right? So just copy the company name. So copying will be create a good, will be a good practice. So if you're entering something, there may be a typo, but copying, so that will be good. So company should be A, B, C. Okay. So here there is a thing called as keep remove. So if you need to, you are going to apply a condition over here. Company equal to ABC. So what actually keep and remove mean? So if this condition satisfied, we have to keep those data or remove this particular condition data. that is what thing it is asking actually. So if this particular company ABC record need to be included, or it should be kept in a data table, or it should be removed from the data table. So that is what thing it is asking. So what actually I was going to give, if company is ABC, then I was going to keep that one. Okay, then output column. So what are the columns I needed in the output? Okay, so what are the columns? So this name, age, and then company, right? So all these three things I needed. So I will quickly go there, and then I'll go to the company name, and then age, and then company, right? So company I'll be copying here. So all these thing why I was copying to avoid typos, like the silly mistakes. So I have done this. So I have done three columns which I needed. Output column. So here also, like, you can take. So if some column is needed, okay, we can keep all those columns. So if, for an example, if I not needed the age column, so I can negligate this one. Okay, so that in my output table, we can see only name and company, not a age. Okay, likewise we can filter it out. So just click on OK. So now we have to look it into result, right? So we can take a output data table. So where it is? Yeah, here it is. Okay. So we just need to pass the input. So what is the input? DT filter, right? So that will be stored in the filter data. Okay. So here you can create one more variable which is named as str filter. Okay. Just click on enter, save, and then try to drag a message box. Message box. Yeah. Okay. So you can use right line as well. So I was, as of now, I was doing message box. So anything is fine actually. str. Okay. So actually what it will do, it will create a build data type, then so output, just we are not doing any manipulation here, just printing over there, then we are applying filter, and then we are making the output, then message. Okay, just save and quickly run. This is the first output when the database has been created. This is build data type. Okay, so just click on OK. So as of now you can see three records, correct? Just click on OK. So it comes to filter sequence now. So here you can see in filter sequence only we have two records, right? So which means it has filtered and it has removed the XYZ company. Just click on OK. So it has done now. So the next thing, so it will be doing like I guess filter, right? So drag a sequence, do the same thing. So it kind of like, so if you are well familiar with one thing, so you can do next thing. So quite simple actually. So sort, let me name it as sort. Okay, and then so go to the build data type. You can drag and drop sort data table. So what is the input over here? DT filter, right? So which is a filtered one, correct? So why it is not showing up here? So due to scope. Okay. So go here, variable panel, check for filtered. Okay. Okay. I change this. Go to here, data table. Just enter DT filter. Okay. So under what basis we have to sort it out? So what mean by actually sort? So sort is help us to make an ascending or a descending way, right? So this is the one thing which is in sort. Okay. So we can do in either way, sort, ascend or descend. Okay. So what using what we are going to ascend? So using age. Okay. Using age we can ascend it out. So what are the, so you can see here, right? A name. So what actually it says, name of the column you want to sort by. Okay. So name of the column. So just click over here, make a double quotes, enter the age, which is the column name. So how we are going to assert ascending or descending. So I'll be going the descending to look at some changes. Click on save. Okay. So we are I have to drag and drop our output data table so that we can get in string. So just pass the input. So what is the input will be here? DT filter, and then so what is the output over here? str sort. Okay, you will be creating a variable str sort. Okay. So here you can see there will be no output. Okay, so like by default, so yeah, sorry, I have forgot to make it over here actually. So dt sort, sorry, my bad, a dt sort. So here you have to pass a dt sort, not dt filter. Okay, so once it has sorted, then it will be stored in the output, which is dt sort. So in the output data table, so we'll be passing the dt sort as input, and the output we will be getting as a string. Okay, so how where will be going to print over this one? In a message box, right? Message box. Drag a message box. So str sort. That's it. So let me save and click on start. So this is the first output of build data type. So it has 3 records. Click OK. This will be a filtered one, filtered sequence one, so that we can see only 2 data. Just click on OK. So you can see 23 in top and 24 in down. Okay, we are done in a descending. Let's click on OK. So this will be the result of sort. So sort, now you can see 24 is in top and 23 is in below. Yeah, so we have done the sort as well. Click on OK. And then so we have done with the output as well. So clear data table. So this is the not a big much actually in this one. So clear data table, as it names clear, so it helps to clear the data table. Okay, so let me drag a sequence, name it as clear. So drag and drop a clear activity. Okay, so which data table do you need to clear? So the last input, what is it? DD input, right? So we are not able to see a DT sort because the scope, right? So go here. So what actually I was doing? So I was taking every updated input as a output over here. Okay, so that is the thing I was doing over here. DT sort input. So soon after I was giving this activity, so this particular data table will be cleared out. Okay, so how we can see? So we can see in this runtime panel. Okay, so let me show you during the runtime panel. Okay, so once I'm done with it, let me drag and drop this clear data table as well, so that it will not print anything for you. So from that you can understand as well. Sorry, I was pasting same activity. Sorry. Go to output, type output, you can get it. Okay, so pass the input dt sort, click on OK, and variable, control K, str, clear, click on enter. That's it. So go to the drag and drop a message activity, message. So here you can make it as str clear. So that's it. So just save and then debug. So this is build data type input. Okay, this is filtered one, and this is sorted one. So we are going to clear now. Okay, so the clear action is performed. So see here only we can see the schema. Why? So the data has been cleared now. Only we can see the schema. That's it. So that's it about all the activities which in data table. So I hope you will be very much clear about this data table activities. Thanks for watching. Happy learning. Bye.